man and his symbols. It's talking about a certain person having a dream where a crystal appeared. But then also talking about Australian Aborigines who believe that the dead ancestors continue to exist in stones as virtuous and divine powers, and that if they rub these stones, the power increases, like charging them with electricity. And that's like piezoelectric crystals like quartz and tourmaline that's proven to be piezoelectric. And even amber, rubbing amber kind of carries the electrical charge too. And just sharing the extra evidence, from the Bible to Aboriginals to wherever you want to bring it up. Crystals are always shown to be important. You think about the people wearing crystals and stuff in the crowns, literally mimicking the crown chakra, but with all the, the different diamonds and stuff, and studded in crowns. It's no coincidences in this universe. It has some type of reason behind it. Peace. Now the vibrate. Just sharing. Adding to, the proof of, crystals being important throughout, our existence. But right here, they're talking about the Australian Aborigines, believe that their dead ancestors continue to exist in stones as virtuous and divine powers, and that if they rub these stones, the power increases. But this was just a simple explanation. They was talking about how somebody was dreaming about a crystal, and and basically like the importance of crystals and like what it could symbolize. Because in essence, like polishing a stone, in essence, means like basically the process of individuation, meaning the process of harmonizing the subconscious mind and the conscious mind together. But again, seeing like getting the crystals in connection with the ancestors, and crystals in connection with being symbolic of, again, the unconscious mind and the conscious mind being in alignment. And that's what this speaks to too. We're talking about like the nuclear center, aka the self. And again, like the self is basically wholeness and integration. Some people may say spiritual equilibrium, but basically the harmony of the subconscious and conscious mind. And again, the self also appears as a crystal, and no coincidence that before the word Christ, it was seen as the word Christos, and it's also like a crystal, because the Christ energy is seen as the mediator between, the extremes of matter and spirit, or the extremes of, again, because this is also like a balancing between the yin and yang energies, the masculine and feminine. But the mathematically precise arrangement of crystals evoke in us the intuitive feeling that even in so-called dead matter, there's a spiritual ordering principle at work. And thus the crystal often symbolically stands for the union of extreme opposites of matter and spirit. Because you think about how a piece of crystal quartz forms a hexagonal shape out of magma, and that whole process, again, as above, so below, as within, so without. It's like a dream realm, so again, and that's why crystals have such a significant connection with our spiritual growth. Not only are they actually giving off certain energies due to their molecular structure and the elements that's connected with them, but again, they like little universes, like I made a video about shungite and how, like, when you're working with a crystal, you're working with that universe, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the universe, the Shungite is like, hey, we detoxifying, you know, it's detoxification in this universe, you know, that's how, you know, Shungite is feeling. You know, lepidolite, you know, in that crystal universe is like, hey, we calm over here. You know, we leaving that anxiety. Anxiety cannot exist in our universe, you know. Crystal quartz, like, hey, you know, this universe here, you could direct it in any direction you want to, in essence. You know, aka crystal quartz is able to be programmed to whatever intentions you want to set it to. You know, so again, little miniature universes, little miniature realms. You know, so when you're working with a crystal, you know, like it's like it's nothing but little worlds, nothing but little universes around my wrist. You know, just one bead has so many different atoms and so many different things going on. You know, and hence why sometimes, you know, again, like with wearing certain crystals, you know, you could be overwhelmed by wearing too many, you know, or too many crystals that may have conflicting energies, you know. But again, as above, so below, as within, so without. Our bodysuit, this little bodysuit, has more than one element in it, you know. So to say that wearing more than one crystal would be too much is like saying our bodysuit is too much. But again, just for the general aspect though, like again, there is such thing as extremes and being too, you know, like too much extra or not enough, you know. But again, the same iron that's in this pyrite is in my body, you know, oxygen is in my body, you know. And it's not just one element, just like it ain't like, all right, everything in my body made out of just pyrite or just crystal quartz or just ruby. You know, like, no, this bodysuit is made up of all kind of elements. So if my bodysuit made out of all kind of elements, then it would be, you know, cool for me to have more than one element, you know, in a jewelry piece, in essence, you know. Let's continue. Perhaps crystals and stone. Matter of fact, and this is from the book A Man and His Symbols by Karl Perhaps crystals and stones are especially apt symbols of the self because of the just so-ness of their nature. Many people cannot refrain from picking up stones of a slightly unusual color or shape and keeping them without knowing why they do this. It is as if the stones held a living mystery that fascinates them. Again, I talked about how crystal may talk to you. You know, I was walking down the street one day and just caught the vibe to pick up a certain little piece of, it was not necessarily a crystal, but like a little stone. And then when I got to another part of the street, I ended up throwing it, and I could hear that crystal be like, all right, thank you, bro. Like, basically, like, it sent me a message to pick it up and walk down the street so it could be transported to another area, you know. But yeah, collecting stones since the beginning of time and have apparently assumed. And again, the author of this book is the same person who had had the Gnostic scriptures gifted to him. Carl Jung had the Gnostic scriptures, the Jung Codex, basically gifted to him. So the parts of the Bible that they took out of the Bible, Carl Jung actually had some of that literature. You know, and when it comes to psychology and dealing with dreams in the subconscious, you know, you start to see why his info may be so accurate. That's it. Peace, peace. Happy now. Now's a vibrate. Tap in with them crystals.